gonna lie, the last mission with Yuji the bar and Megumi, I actually thought it was gonna be something that he saved at the end of like almost like a typical, oh, we're getting ready to set off for a mission, and then as he like goes into the mission, the chapter ends. But no, he actually took the mission and like turned it into his own thing of encapsulating Yuji's new character, or what his character was really supposed to be from the start to the end. And even from the beginning of the mission, he shows like the little goofy parts of JJK, like the little bug-eyed look, the crazy look from the cursed sorcerer and all that. And then later on, you know, towards the end of the mission, he adds like a more serious kind of, not necessarily darker tone, but more so like a grittier tone with Megumi using Demon Dog to take out the sorcerer, and then putting them in handcuffs, putting them in the back of the car, and coming to find out that this guy was actually stalking this girl because she has a hostess job, and he was just obsessed with her. He thought that there was some type of connection they had. And for this last mission, though, I actually liked the little goofiness. It kind of added like a calm ending to it, which JJK has been trying to do for like the last 6 to 7 chapters or whatever, just kind of slowly walking us to the end. But in the middle of this mission, I'm not gonna lie, I fucks with Nobara using the hammer to like slide down the building. That was pretty cool. And even the panel of her hair being in the air and the eye patch, like, dog, I wish we got more of this, man. And one of the best parts of the final chapter is Yuji, Gojo, and this whole conversation. Cut to a flashback of before Gojo fights Sukuna, and we got Yuji and Gojo sitting in here, and it is Yuji telling Gojo that he like to do some Gojo switch body training. But Gojo is just kind of like, I don't think you really need to do that. You know, I mean, you can grow your own self, man. You know, you don't need me. Haven't we had enough of Gojo Satoru? Obviously, Yuji's like, what you mean? Like, dog, you the strongest. And tells him that he wants him to obviously carry on his dream or whatever, but he wants him to become stronger and kind of grow into a version that further surpasses what he had in mind. Even saying, I think there should be at least one among you who forgets about me and develops strength completely different from that of my own. And the thing I like about this is just that because this fits Gojo's character so much that we already knew, we know that he wanted his students to grow and become something greater than what he had in the past with Geto. Because Gojo was a special grade sorcerer, and Geto, I believe in hidden inventory, technically wasn't at the time. He didn't get classified, I think, until after he did the attack. I'm not gonna lie, I gotta refreshen up on my hidden inventory knowledge. But when you look at Yuji, Akari, Maki, Yuta, etc. as the big 4 in this group, even surrounding them, you got people like Megumi, Nobara, Kirara, you know, stronger characters that can also help support them, and they're not by themselves, because Yuta is going to be like the Gojo, I guess, of the modern age now with Gojo gone. But the fact that you can still send out someone like Yuji and be completely fine, or someone like Akari who can kind of carry the mantle of what it means to be the strongest in this modern age, is what Gojo wanted. And what he means by forgetting them, I don't even think he really means it in necessarily the sense of I don't want you to remember who I was, or more so just going back and idolizing who he was and not looking at him as a sense of this is a mark that we'll never reach, but more so of like, man, they got so strong, like we don't even need a Gojo, like we got a Yuta, we got a Yuji, you know, stuff like that. In every flashback we see of Gojo before he fought Sukuna, the vibe kind of matches. He always just feels like he knew that he was gonna die, because he was even more confident than he ever was, because there's a different level of confidence when you have something where you know you can beat someone versus knowing that you don't really know what you're getting yourself into, but you just know what the person you're fighting against is capable of. So whatever outcome he gets, he was fine with. And even knowing the fact that he was this calm and this kind of just lackadaisical, and then proceeded to go out there and deliver one of the greatest fights in modern manga anime history, that's some cold shit, man. And even knowing, when I think back at Gojo's last moments in chapter 236, it even makes that moment better, because Gojo actually went out in a fashion of he's gonna have no regrets because of the way Sukuna finished him, and the fact that he acknowledged him at the end. And then using the verbiage of I'll never forget you, I see JJK was cooking with that. When it comes to Gojo's conclusion, he nailed it. And then at the end of this mission, we got Yuji talking to the cursed user, and he's telling him that, hey, you acknowledge the fact that you messed up, you did something you shouldn't have, and you should take some time to reflect, and I think you should join us on a mission someday. And even telling him, I expect great things from you. Same thing that Gojo told Yuji. Yuji ate the Sukuna finger and he was ready to become a full-on sorcerer. Yuji's strength is just the way that he can change people, or at least give them another opportunity. Kind of similar to what Gojo did, but Gojo took more of a, you're very strong, but you're not really reaching your potential as a sorcerer, and you don't really got much of a direction, so I'm gonna go ahead and scoop you up and make you somebody. Meanwhile, Yuji's talking to somebody who's, I mean, this dude sucks. He's weak. I mean, his curse technique sucks, and he's telling him you can be pretty helpful on a mission, trying to add more sorcerers to the good side rather than making them turn to evil. And the other character who had a great conclusion this chapter is Sukuna. Sukuna is actually shown in like this dark, little pathway of the souls, and he's looking at Mahito. It's kind of interesting that Mahito is there, but I guess it kind of ties back into when Hanami was like, Mahito is the mirror of death for humans, and Sukuna was a human at some point. So it's kind of funny how that ties together, because it looks like in this space, Mahito, who's the embodiment of human hatred, he doesn't go north or south. He's just there. He's just still the same. And Mahito proceeds to actually talk to Sukuna, saying that he actually was not living the way he quote unquote said he was. Like, this is his true nature of living as a curse, and that's not actually what he was doing. He was actually moving in revenge based on the people that had betrayed him and just left him for dead because he was a cursed little wretch from his past, and he was just destroying everything in his way in revenge for that. I guess in a sense, like going against whatever they perceived him to be. And he actually tells Mahito that he actually had other paths he could have went, but the path he chose was just the one he felt was right. And the two paths he has clearly is depicted the north and south thing that Gojo talked about in his flashback. The right side is showing Urame, and then the other one, I guess it's just another person. I'm not sure who this could be, but it's a black haired character. And Sukuna says that he couldn't help but spit out the curses stirring deep within his viscera, and I fear my own curse would immolate me. And if there is a next time that this happens in life, he's gonna go think about going a different route. And Mahito, he's just pissed. He's like, that is not what you should be doing. That's so boring. You've gone soft. And Sukuna just tells him, hey, I lost. I mean, what else am I supposed to do? And then Mahito is just stuck in this little space. He just being miserable because he lost to Yuji. Not gonna lie, that's some loser shit from Mahito, but I guess it kind of fits because he's still a child or whatever. I like this from Sukuna because him stating that he lost, so he ends up going a different direction, is what he said he was kind of going to do in the fight with Yorozu, because right before she tells him, like, what are you going to do when I kill you, or something like that before the marriage, he just tells her, if I lose, then I might as well be dead, because defeat means I'm done. And even if you look at the fight when Sukuna comes out in Shinjuku, Sukuna never really looked at defeat in a certain type of way of like he's trying to prevent it in a sense, but more so of like he never really faced true defeat in this modern age. So when he did come about facing it, he kind of didn't know what to expect. And when he did lose, he went out the exact way he wanted to. He was gonna stand on his morals and what he stood for, and went out like he normally wanted to. I'm a curse, I'm gonna go out that way. There's really not much more I can say about Sukuna in regards to just everything that's taking place in this final arc. I mean, the guy went out like a G. This is one of the few villains where it felt like there was nothing I could look back and say like this was wrong or this was bad. I'm gonna be honest, Sukuna's the best villain, at least for me, villain antagonist that I've followed along with in a pretty long time. So his conclusion, I'm very happy. Class up the Gege, man. You got you a goated protagonist and antagonist and a side character. So he did his thing. Then one of the last things in the chapter is Labaran making me wondering where Yuji put the thing that he threw away supposedly, but he kept it at the talisman. And come to find out, of course, it was the last Sukuna finger that was taken. And how fitting, it's put in the same spot it was left in that Megumi was looking for in season 1. Kind of set up like a remembrance of what Sukuna was and everything that finger led to, because this all started because Yuji ate a Sukuna finger. It is pretty fitting that is the last panel of the series is this. And then the announcement is just that volumes 29 and 30 will be released at the same time. So I guess we got that to look forward to. I'm expecting volume 30 to be Yuji, and 29 might be either another Sukuna volume or maybe like a Megumi one. And that we should look forward to Gege's next work, which I guess they're telling us that it's going to be in Shonen Jump. I kind of hope that it's not, but just because I just don't think that's going to be a smart idea for him. If anything, I can see him being a part of like Jump Plus with Fujimoto, Dan, like those type of series. I think that would fit, be on like a bi-weekly schedule, still get the shit out, but be on a better thing. And he actually will be able to be a little bit more free with some of the concepts he wants to do. So he might do that. I can see that being what he does. But all in all, I gotta say, this was a fun chapter to end the series off. What a series that I've been following. A lot of people have been following, genuine ones, not the ones that just follow it because they want attention and likes. But now it's over. I can't wait to get some of these videos out now that the chapters have fully commenced and there's none coming out. Some more character videos I can make, because I always wanted to wait until the series ended for certain characters. So I'm looking forward to putting some of that out. And shouts out to JJK for making Jujutsu Kaisen a series that I'm always going to be having a fond memory of. Not only for the fact that it gave me something to really kick off my YouTube career, something I wanted to build off of, and eventually to just expand out to more. But not only fact, but he gave a lot of people memorable moments, whether it was in the anime or the manga, that we'll be able to talk about for months and years to come. But leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe. There will be more content and more JJK content even when the chapter's gone, and of course other anime manga content on here, this channel. I'll let y'all in the next one. Peace.